everyone. Welcome to Thursdays at 3 here at the Amarillo Little Theater. Your host, Jason Crespin. That's my name. It's been a little while. We've had a little bit of a summer break, if you will, from 42nd Street to now. But back and ready for another great season of Thursdays at 3. So excited. Those of you who know, I have been sharing an office with the amazing Mr. Alan Shankles, and he has moved his office to the adventure space. So that's why no more desk back here. And I have yet to paint, but that's my new rug that I'm still figuring out things with my new pretty rug. I got to paint a wall at some point. That wall, I can't point that wall. Anyway, so don't judge my lack of stuff. It'll happen soon. It'll happen soon. Also, my lighting not the best right now, but it will be. Yeah, it's August 4th. That's right, August, y'all. When did August come? I mean, I knew it was coming, but still, I can't believe we're August 4th already. This is a side. This y'all won't care about this, but I'm gonna tell all of you who out there who are interested in the word Jason. If you're like, man, that's a good name, or I've been thinking about naming somebody Jason, or my name is Jason, and I never knew this fun fact. So when I was a kid, I learned, are you ready for this? If you take the first letter of July, August, September, October, November, it spells Jason. Isn't that crazy? July, August, September, October, November. So every time, this is ever since I was a little kid, I did this. Every time I would hit August, I was like, ah, yes, the A in my name. I don't know, it's so dumb, but I would always call it the A in my name. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about everything going on at ALT. Of course, things are always going on at the theater. We're never quiet here. Just a reminder for those of you who may not have renewed your season tickets or purchased season tickets, we want to remind you, you still can. There's still time. Our season ticket packages, of course, you can go to our website, click on season packages there at the bottom of our website. Takes you to our season packet page. We have the lowest ticket price ticket package is 4 admissions. That's that 4-pack Flex B at $61. All the way to patron sponsorship level of season ticket packages for $1,000. You can combine, you can make your own packages. If you want to see all 9 shows of the main stage and Adventure Space season, we have packs for that, all that good stuff. You can, of course, can always call our box office and get those season tickets as well for that great, fantastic season, which opens, at least with our Adventure Space season, with Significant Other. And I have 3 amazing, talented, intelligent, equally beautiful, fantastic people on Thursdays at 3 today. We'll get to them in a second. Also, we have Guys and Dolls is rehearsing right now. Good old Guys and Dolls. We're rolling that dice. We've started, blocking rehearsal this week. It's going really, really well. Have had music and dance rehearsal. So that's coming along together. We'll talk more about that later on this month. A couple of dates we want to let you guys know about in case you have not heard yet. Our Academy is having their open house on Thursday, August 11th. That's a week from today. If you guys have never come to this, come. It's at 5:30. It'll last about an hour long. Basically, kids, families, everyone in the community can come meet the ALT Academy instructors. There's usually, some sort of lemonade or cookies or something like that. There's usually a chance to win like season tickets or a free class or anything like that. But the cool part of it, it's literally like a theater pep rally. Where the instructors talk about their classes. Michaela talks about, show choir and all the different, classes that are going on. But the cool thing at the end of it is Michaela will reveal the ALT Academy season. And I don't even know the season, y'all. I'm so excited. It's always a big fun event to find out what the Academy is going to be doing next season. And so we're very, very excited about that. So mark your calendars, free event, Academy Open House, Thursday, August 11th at 5:30 here at the ALT main stage. Speaking of the main stage, y'all, if you have not come by this beautiful theater, that's of course the rendering of it. If you have not come by at nighttime, swing by the theater at nighttime. It is illuminated. We have just finished our outdoor lighting project. Huge thanks to Missouri Valley and AAA Electric and Turtle Creek HDD, which helped us with getting our outdoor lighting fixed. And it looks fantastic. Those of you actors who know what it's like to leave at the main stage late at night when it's dark. It's bright now, y'all. It's really bright. Bring your sunglasses when you leave the theater because it looks fantastic. So we have plenty of light now for our patrons as they leave the theater. It looks beautiful. So anyway, mark your calendars August 11th for the open house. Also talking about Academy stuff. I can give you these dates. The Showstoppers audition date is August 9th. August 9th, that's Tuesday, August 9th. Junior and senior company auditions, August 13th. That's a Saturday. Registration for the Good Old Academy begins August 15th. August 15th. And then classes for the Academy start on the 29th. Of course, you can always visit our website, amarillo littletheater.org, or call our box office, 806-355-9991. Find out more about classes. You can register online, call and register. But if you click on the website, click at the top where it says Academy, and then that'll take you to the Academy homepage, and you will be able to see the class schedule there. It's going to be a great, great season of classes. And then finally, for all of you volunteers, we're talking actors, people who volunteer backstage, board members, patrons, anyone who wants to come. We're having a volunteer season kickoff party on September 1st. Free event, 5:30, where we're going to talk about all of the different kind of ways to volunteer, find out more about the season, find out about some cool things that are going on. So that's going to be Thursday, September 1st at 5:30 here at the main stage. Plenty of time to talk more about that. But and again, what did my brain just do? I literally go, yes, the S of Jason. Again, I'm such a dork. It's a good thing I did theater, right? I would have been beat up in the football. I almost said the football stage. Football field, that's what it's called. Yeah, there we go. Any of those practices or rehearsals? Let's get to the point, y'all, why we're really here, why you're watching, because significant other. I was telling our backstage people, significant other, I've had this script literally for years. So excited that we're finally doing this show. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Significant Other, of course, it's written by Joshua Harmon, a critically acclaimed playwright. It premiered off-Broadway in 2015. Then, of course, following a critically acclaimed run there, it ran on Broadway in the spring of 2017. And we have three amazing, fantastic ALT warriors on our show today. Welcome to the show, Caitlin Gibson, Harada, and Jay Hayes.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Fantastic. I love it. Thank you guys for being a part of Thursdays at 3 today. We're so glad. First off, can you guys remind us, Caitlin, let's start with you. Remind us, what do you do when you're not at ALT? When you're not, of course, gracing the stage or volunteering here at the theater, what do you do?
When I'm not at ALT, this year I am starting off the inaugural year of West Plains High School as their theater director. So getting all that set up, I'm actually in the building now in one of the cool spaces that they have. And so just really excited to get that started off with those amazing kids.
It's so exciting. I mean, to be the first theater teacher at that school is awesome. Yeah. P.S. Real quick, we have a fan already tuning in. Aspen Younger says, Queens!
Hey.
Sure. Yes, this also could look part of the cast of 6, the musical where they're queens, but nope, it's the Queens of Significant Other. I love it. Yes. Nikki, remind us, what do you do when you're not at ALT?
I'm a student experience coordinator for Southern New Hampshire University, but I work remote, so most of the time I just sit at home in my PJs.
I love it. It's so cool that you work for like the school in New Jersey in Texas. That's so awesome.
Yes, it's amazing.
Nikki and I live in the same neighborhood-ish, and so the other day I saw her riding her bike, and I like almost got in a car accident by trying to stop my car. Just slammed it off the window to yell at her and her husband and some friends. Yeah, it was great. It was perfect. Jay, remind us, what do you do when you're not at ALT?
I am the activities assistant for Hillside Heights.
Woo-hoo!
So
and what is Hillside Heights? Because it sounds like a cool place that I want to hang out at.
Yeah, it's a skilled nursing facility. So as well as it's a long-term care facility, it's a rehab as well. So we have some residents who come in for like 2 to 6 weeks to heal from a fall, and then they go back home.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. Fun story, Jay. I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but when I was like 20, I think 19, maybe 19, my parents were moving. And they like lived in Amarillo, and they were moving, and they were helping me find an apartment. And they went looking for apartments for me like over a weekend. And they came back and they were like, "We found the best apartment for you, Jason." Like, they were so excited, but then they were like laughing because they realized, long story short, my mom and dad literally did not know that they went to a like retirement like home, like apartment, like a retirement complex. They thought it was just an apartment complex. And so they went and they were like, yes, we're looking, and they're like, oh, do you have a family member that you're hoping to, put in? They're like, yes. And they didn't say our son, but they just said yes. And so they were like, they have a meal plan and they have laundry service. Like they are going to take care of you. And then they realized like halfway through the tour that it was in a retirement home. And I was like, I love that my mom and dad were trying to put me in a retirement home instead of vice versa. But it was many, many years ago. And I always joke about that when I hear about that. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. I would live there. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about, of course, Significant Other. Of course, this is a great, great play. Remind those viewers who are not familiar, a lot of the times if a play or a musical turns into a movie, it gets more well known in our community, but this is not a show that a lot of people know about. So, without giving too much away, without any spoilers, what is Significant Other about?
How I would describe it, Significant Other is about this late 20s gay man and his 3 best girlfriends, and throughout the play, seeing how those relationships and change and evolve as members of that group begin to grow up, and see how that affects the relationships and what that does to that group of people.
And it's so true. I mean, and it's so funny because everyone really can relate to this story of having a good group of friends and then just the evolving of that friendship. We've all had our high school or college besties, or, people that we grew up with at church or whatever, even our ALT besties and stuff like that. And then, somebody might get in a relationship, or somebody might, move away or something like that. And it changes. And what happens to that one person who's the third or the fourth wheel, then the third wheel, and the second wheel. And then it's like, oh, they're on their own unicycle now because everyone else is gone, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Nikki, remind us who do you play in the show?
I play Kiki. She is the very wild, very brash, very comedic friend. A little bit of a wild child. So
she's the one that you would want on a debate, go to Vegas with, I feel.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. She'll come to Vegas to you, I feel like.
Yeah. You're at church and she's like, hey, you wanna
so I got the shooters.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Jay, remind us, who do you play?
I play Vanessa. I'm the depressed, funny one of the group.
Yeah. And I feel like kind of not emo, but you're kind of that more not as,
non-conforming, open-minded.
Yes.
It's not so much. I don't know how to describe her, but she is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I love the character. And then Caitlin, remind us who you play.
I play Laura, and ironically, she is described as a school marm, which I think is so funny since I actually am a school marm.
Yeah.
We were looking for costume stuff yesterday, and I was like, I'll just bring my entire closet because that's all I have.
Right.
But she's kind of the steady rock in Jordan's life.
Yeah. Kind of, the one that's a little more grounded and yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna pop quiz. If you had to describe your character as a shoe, what type of shoe would your character be? Bum, bing, ding, ding, bum, bum, bing, ding, ding, bum, bum, bing, ding, ding. What's your shoe, Caitlin?
Ballet flat.
A ballet flat. A sensible ballet flat can be worn throughout the day. Nothing to affect the arch. Very sensible. Like it. Nikki?
I think she would be like high-heeled booties.
High-heeled booties. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
I love that. What about you, Jay?
I'm thinking like Doc Martens.
Yes. I love it. So right there, I hope that literally everyone's like, oh, we know what kind of characters. All three of you are right there. I love it. Just by the shoes that you would wear. Oh, that's fantastic. I know that the play has been described. It says the play concerns the lives of 4 friends in their late 20s and their search for relationships in the 21st century New York City. Playwright Joshua Harmon explained the premise by saying, "How do you make life work for yourself when you feel that you're not living the life you're supposed to be living or want to be living? Ooh, and how do you deal with that when the changes that you need to make are in some ways outside of your control?" Dun dun dun. Like, so deep, so deep. Were the 3 of you, any of you, aware of the show before it was announced as far as our season? You know, had any of you maybe seen the show anywhere or knew about the show at all beforehand?
I had read it, but I had
Caitlin had read
not
it.
seen it. I had read it.
Yeah. It's a show that not a lot of people know about. Of course, it like I said, it was critically acclaimed. It was a New York critics pick in on the Broadway run. How is it, one, performing in the adventure space? Jay and Caitlin, of course, you both have been in the adventure space as early as last season. Nikki, for you, how do you feel? It's your first adventure space show as far as ALT, but also your first play with ALT. How is that going for you so far?
Oh, it's great. It's it takes me back to my college days, which I haven't done a stage production since college. So it's been really exciting to get back into that and to be in the adventure space and be in that new space is really exciting. And, getting to flex those muscles again has been really, really wonderful, especially with this amazing cast.
Yeah, and get ready, because when you have an audience, it's like, whoa. Yeah, right there. I mean, as you know from shows at WT, but it's a whole different kind of beast when you have audience members that close. We should remind everyone, of course, Terry Wilson is directing this production. Joe Smith, of course, is her assistant director. This is Terry's second show to direct for ALT. Of course, last year with the big success of Calendar Girls, which is really, really exciting. Caitlin and Jay, for you both, of course, Caitlin, you've been in musicals over at the Adventure Space. Is this your first play at the Adventure Space?
This is my first play at the Adventure Space, and it's actually my first play at ALT in general in like 12 years.
I was going to say, because it's been a while since You Can't Take It With You. Yeah.
Yeah, You Can't Take It With You when I was a senior in high school.
Yeah. Crazy to think about.
It's so nice to be able to do a play here again. I love, as much as I love musicals, plays hold a special place in my heart.
Yeah. Was your first musical at the Adventure Space Full Monty? Was that your first show at the Adventure Space?
I think so. I think Full Monty was the first one.
Yeah. And then Jay, of course, last year with obviously Cabaret, and Caitlin obviously Cabaret as well, but Defying Gravity. I could not think of the word. I kept thinking, what's the Wicked song?
Yeah, honestly.
Popular. Popular.
As soon as I told my friends that I was in this show, Defying Gravity, they were like, "Oh my gosh, you're in Wicked?"
Right, yeah. Like, always the saddest part of that, yeah. But now, Jay, now you've done several shows recently at the Adventure Space. Caitlin and Jay, do you find where you like the Adventure Space a little bit more than the main stage, or is it just because maybe it's a little more contemporary or cutting edge theater? Because both of you, of course, Legally Blonde, for example, you guys were both in on the main stage and different things like that. But it's just a kind of a different beast.
Yeah, it's a different experience. I think content-wise, I tend to prefer Adventure Space shows, but nothing beats being on the big stage in front of 450 people and doing those big dance numbers.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a different kind of experience, neither good or bad.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah. What about you, Jay?
To me, I would say that I do favor the Adventure Space a little bit more, just because I think it's a more like intimate experience. Sure. And usually, like when you're doing a show there, it's something that's more thought provoking. I mean, not that like the main stage isn't, but I don't know. I like just the space of the Adventure Space, and I love being on the main stage too. But
yeah, it's great. Both of them have awesome pros and cons for sure. We should remind everyone that, of course, you 3 are playing the 3 besties. Dakota Warren, of course, is playing Jordan, your best friend. That kind of the show centers around. Treva Aller is playing Helen, his grandmother. And then we have Harrison Blount, Noah Lang, and Brandon Graves playing the ensemble men. Oh, plus Nikki, your husband, right?
He's playing my husband.
I love it. Yes. Jesse, right? Yes.
Yes.
Harada is playing as also in the show. And so very excited that we have a great group of other actors to complete the ensemble of Significant Other. Very, very excited. In fact, next week we will have Dakota Warren and Terry Wilson on for Thursdays at 3. So everyone mark your calendars for that as well. With this show, and especially because some of you, I'm sure, have lived parts of this show, you know what I mean? Growing up with best friends and those friendships evolving and different things like that. I want to know, how do you guys go in developing your characters? When you found out you got the role and you have your script and you start the line reading and you start rehearsals and all those things, how do you, I guess, bring, Vanessa and Kiki and Laura to life in your version, in your eyes? What's something that you do? Let me start with you, Jay. What do you do when you start to develop your character?
It honestly starts with the costumes. As soon as I find out my character, I start looking at visuals and start piecing who that person is, because for me that's the first step. Once I know what they're wearing, then I know what their personality's like,
Sure.
That's the best way to express that in my eyes.
Well, and it's true. It's like the shoe thing. Knowing what kind of shoe they walk in, what kind of person they're going to be. If they're going to be somebody who's a little more uptight or laid back or care how they look, or all those kind of social values. I totally understand that. What about you, Nikki?
I really dive into the script as much as I can when I first get a role. But what helps me a lot is thinking about what kind of music they would listen to. Sometimes I'll make playlists, for characters, but sometimes I'll just kind of have a mental tally of what sets their day up, what gets them in a good mood, what kind of shapes them, especially with music.
Sure. Yeah, no, music is great. That's and so helpful too, because then you can prep yourself as you're driving to the theater, listening to that or whatever, kind of gets you in that mood. That's great. Caitlin, what about you?
I'm a lot more text-based. I look through the script, ways that my character describes themselves, way that other characters describe them, their actions, and then I find commonalities with myself, because I find that to be a good place to build those connections. Think about, they have this experience and I've had an experience similar to that. So then I use that for emotional preparation for scenes. I don't really I like the songs and the costumes. I don't think I've ever done that. I may have to start adding that to my
it's funny.
work.
I always remember our friend Annika. I don't know if she still does this, but for the longest time, she may still do this. She would have a scent. She would assign a scent for a character, and she would get a perfume or something, and she was like, this is that character's perfume, and would spray that or have that. And I was like, wow, you must have a lot of perfumes because you played a lot of characters. I always thought that. I was like, her perfume collection is amazing. But yeah, I love that. But I totally get all of those aspects, diving into the script and finding out as much information as you can, but then also figuring out how you can blend yourself with that and using, costumes and music and things like that to just even solidify those characters. With this show, it's a unique show in that it's not like Act 1, Scene 1, Act 1, Scene 2, Act 1, Scene 3. It's a different type of show, at least how it's written. Caitlin, let's start with you. Can you explain a little bit of how this show is a little bit different in the way that it's structured, so that way audiences can kind of be a little prepared for that?
So this show, one interesting thing in it is that the character of Jordan never leaves the stage. Dakota has been doing an amazing job because he never gets to leave the stage.
That's a big task.
The rest of us just kind of pop out. It's very fluid. There'll be times where Jordan will be on the phone with somebody, but then also jump into a memory and reenact that memory with another character while still on the phone. So it's very, very fluid. There's no defined break anywhere in the show except for end of Act 1 and then into the show.
Wow. So yeah, it just kind of, I think what in the inside of the
Because
script,
the scenes should bleed into each other because love bleeds.
Yes. I just love that in the script that it says that, because it's so true. And to think how, the playwright thought about that was like, just how it just flows into the next thing. There's, in life, we don't have, okay, this is our scene 1, this is our scene 2, our act 1, our act 2. It just kind of blends together in these moments in our life. Nikki, how is that as portraying like these characters in that ebb and flow? How has that been as far as rehearsals have gone, kind of getting the rhythm of it all? Especially because you're a dancer, you choreographed and stuff like that. So I mean, to me, it sounds like not necessarily music, but it almost has this choreography element to it that you have to be able to ebb and flow into the scenes.
Yes, it has. I think it has such a specific rhythm. This show does that has
a
been
heartbeat,
really
if you will,
fun to find, especially with each other. And like when we get those scenes and we find those rhythms, it's really magical to experience, and everyone feels it. But the first few run throughs, because it's not like, okay, we're doing scene 1, 2, and 3, and so making sure you're really on top of, okay, this is when I come in, this is how I need to flow into this scene, this is the energy I need to bring into this scene to change the energy of the show, has been was a little difficult to find at first, but it's been really, really fun.
Good. Yeah, I can't even imagine. I cannot wait to see the show. Jay, for you, what's it been like working? Obviously, you've had multiple directors. Tell us a little bit about Terry, and this is your first time to work with Terry.
I was a little timid at first, I'm going to be honest, but I'm nervous with everyone in the beginning, so that's okay. But I like that we're both warm-natured, like we're lizards, and that's pretty cool, I just really like the way that her mind works and our stretching routines before we start, and just like taking a moment to decompress with each other. And I don't know, she's really nice. I
Good. Yeah, I love that. Talking about kind of getting ready for the show and stuff like that. The three of you, and then of course also including Dakota. I mean, you guys all somewhat knew each other. I feel like Dakota for sure knew all of y'all. But how do you establish that immediate bestie relationship of the four of you guys? You know what I mean? From the get-go, we have to know that the four of you, however you guys have met or whatever, are each other's besties, where you can kind of be maybe a little more honest with each other, or say things or cut each other up a little bit, but still have fun, and knowing that you guys are still rooting for each other and have each other's back. How have you guys established that dynamic?
Well, I think we've had some dance parties during rehearsal.
Oh, definitely.
They're very silly, but we've had some dance parties, and then I think another thing that really helped was working with Kelly Hasak, our intimacy coordinator. I think that helped everyone kind of open up with comfortability levels of touching each other. Because if you're with your best friends, you're not going to keep your hands to yourself. So how do you do that with someone, and making sure that they remain comfortable at all times to accurately portray best friends?
Yeah, no, for sure. Because it's true. Like we had an audition the other day, and two people were like, "Hi, how are you? My name is so and so, so and so." And then they did a scene where they were like, "Hello," and it was like, theater is so funny, like how we're just like immediately best friends, or in relationships, and we might be complete strangers, or different things like that. But yeah, because I know Caitlin and Jay, you guys have worked with each other in Legally Blonde, and then of course in Cabaret. Jay and Nikki, of course, during Shrek. Caitlin and Nikki, had y'all worked together before?
I don't think so. I know we have a lot of mutual friends, but I don't think we had actually even met before. So
I really think like, which would be a really cool like diagram or some sort of like ad for the show. I really do like Dakota's y'all's common denominator, has done shows with all three of you, kind of especially was like, Nikki, come back to ALT and play and help us and all the things, which has been great. So that's awesome. I think that's kind of your core there, that you guys are all kind of revolving around, because that's what the show is in some aspects. And then of course working with like, for example, Nikki, how is it working with your husband? Like, how cool is that he's in the show?
It's great. Well, when we were working on finding like all of our male counterparts, and more men in the show, I was joking with Jesse, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And then it was like, "Okay, well, we need you, so come do it." It's been really fun. It's been really wonderful to bring him into this world and this thing that I hold so near and dear to my heart, and to have him get to be a part of that is just something that's very, very special, and I'm very thankful that he agreed to.
And remind me, did he have background in theater or?
No, he played Elvis in like a 6th grade performance in school one time, but like I think he could be an amazing actor. I think he could, probably surpass me easily, but no, he has not had any experience.
I'm going to look for that Elvis role in his bio. I feel like he needs to include that in his bio.
That's what I said.
I think it needs to happen for sure. I love that. Jay, remind us. Okay, so because I think it's known that the three of you each have a wedding in this show, and different things like that. Remind us, Jay, who your significant other is in the show.
My significant other is Roger, or Brandon Graves.
Yeah, and what's great is you guys were kind of significant others in Defying Gravity. Yeah, you have that great established already connection and have been in shows with him before and stuff like that. So I'm sure that has been fun to revisit.
Yeah, definitely it has.
Well, and like you guys were saying, you really have to trust each other. Like you guys have to have that familiarity and trust to be able to, be friends and gesture on stage or, touch each other like a best friend would or things like that. But to have that established, already relationship is awesome. Caitlin, remind us who your significant other is in the show.
Laura's significant other is Tony, played by Noah Lang. I know. I think he said that this is his first time back on stage since he was in the Academy. I know he ran my light board for Fun Home, and
he was in maybe Adventure Space. Peter and the Starcatcher, he was in Mamma Mia. Yeah, I bet he was at Adventure Space because he was in Mamma Mia. He was in Newsies recently as well. But yeah, I think you might be right as far as Adventure Space. Yeah.
He was like, it's been so long.
Yeah.
He's been doing great. So.
Good. That's so exciting. I'm so excited. And then, of course, having Treva in a show is always just magic. It's always just something so right about that, which is great. As you guys were with the show and figuring out, these dynamics of best friends and figuring out all the aspects of bleeding into each other's scenes and stuff like that, what were some challenges that maybe popped up that you guys were like, oh, I didn't realize that this was going to be something that was going to be a little more difficult, or something that, of course, you overcame, but that's something that just was unexpected maybe during the rehearsal process? Anyone have one where you're like, ooh,
I would say for me, it would definitely be the timing of my cue. Because if it's music, I'm good. I know when I'm going. But when I'm listening to the conversation, I'm like, okay, well, if I go now, maybe it's too early. Well, maybe I don't know. And then they just said my cue line and I'm late.
I get that though, because you're right. With music, you're like, I know it's here and I'm on or whatever. But a conversation, and those conversations might ebb and flow slightly every night. So you're like, do I go now? And then it's that one moment when you think, should I? Where you're like, I should have gone. Like,
exactly.
I'm late now and I'm running back. Yeah.
This is kind of similar to that, but the rhythm of some of the scenes. I know we had already talked about rhythm. There's one scene in particular where all three of us from different locations are trying to give Jordan dating advice for a first date.
Is that the end of Act 1? No,
it's my brain.
It's okay. You don't have to remember.
But we're all like throwing out, what we think he should do for this date, and the timing of it has to be so perfect because we're all saying pretty like we're giving him the same advice but different ways in different contexts, and that's probably the most challenging part of the show right now for me.
Oh yeah. Well, and especially when you have to get it right. Like I remember I was in a show pageant play where we had multiple lines,
Yeah.
and they would just we just threw them in while we were doing physical action. And yeah, it's freaking hard because you're like, if somebody even pauses slightly, you immediately think, oh my gosh, is this my line right now? Am I supposed to be talking? And they're like, oh no, they just took a pause. Or then, yeah, you got to find that rhythm. It's so true. So true. Nikki, any challenges for you?
I was going to say the same thing Caitlin
The same
did.
thing with rhythm, yeah.
The rhythm of this show has to be so specific. And so finding that, and when it's off, trying to get back on, and it's been challenging.
Oh yeah. Because if one line's just wrong, it's like, what? Okay,
Yeah.
do I go with my line? I guess I do. Of course, we want to remind everyone that this show opens on August 18th. August 18th through the 28th. Of course, at our ALT Adventure Space. Tickets are on sale right now for our ALT season ticket holders. You, of course, can call our box office 806-355-9991. Visit our website, amarillo.littletheater.org. If you are not season ticket holder, you still can get season ticket packages and get tickets this week. But if you want to wait, you would have to wait till Monday, August 8th at 10 a.m. And again, reminder that this opens at the Adventure Space. We're so excited about that. And really cool about this show, or something that we're doing different with this season. We're kind of going back to when we had a little different kind of protocols about a year ago. We're actually going to open the theater. So if you're coming to see the show, we're going to open the theater 30 minutes before the show rather than an hour. So normally we'd open the front doors at an hour, and then people would have to wait, and then we'd open the actual theater doors 30 minutes before. Now we're just going to open all the doors 30 minutes before the show. So once you get to the theater, you can automatically go in and get your seats and not have to wait around. So be sure to look at that for Adventure Space shows this season. I know that a lot of people are like, I don't know if I should come see this show. They think it might be a certain type of show. Really, the show is really for everyone because everyone can relate to it. It doesn't have any sort of propaganda or agenda that it's shoving down anyone's throat or anything like that. It's just telling this beautiful story about best friends and evolving. But I want to ask you each, Caitlin, let's start with you. Who should come see this show?
Who should come see this show? I would definitely recommend it for anyone 18 and older.
Yeah.
There is some language and stuff in the show that, I'm not going to be recommending it to any of my high school students.
Right. There's a reason it's at the Adventure Space.
Yeah, that's right. It's at the Adventure Space. But I do feel like everyone can find themselves in some of these characters. I have had moments where I've been a Kiki or I've been a Jordan. And I really think that everyone can relate to these characters.
Yeah, I love that. What about you, Nikki? Who should come see the show?
I think anyone who is going through tough life changes or has recently gone through them, or maybe they're coming up in the future. This show to me is so much about learning to adapt to the things that are changing around you. When things feel like they're going 1,000 miles a minute and you're like, I don't know if I can catch up. There's solace in this show, I feel like.
Yeah, no, agreed. What about you, Jay?
To me, this show is about how far love can be stretched. And I don't know, I would say that it's for partners, it's for best friends, it's for people who just need to hear some words. Because, at moments, we all say something that we need to hear,
Yeah, no, I think that's true. It's definitely a show that I'm like, I want to go with all my best friends and go, oh, you're the Nikki. I mean, not the Nikki, you're the Vanessa, or you're the Kiki, or you're the, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're the Jordan of our group, or you're the whatever of our group. Yeah. I would be the Helen, sadly. I'm the old person.
Oh, how iconic.
Well, we want everyone to come see the show. Don't forget to get your tickets, of course, 806-355-9991. Visit our website, amarillo.littletheater.org. It's the show that's going to start our season. We're so excited about this show. And for me, at least, I'm excited to see a gay character, leading character, that doesn't have anything to do with coming out or being accepted. Like there's just times when we are those shows are great, but there's times when we just want to see a show about us on stage living life and going through what everyone else goes through, just because we're all the same race. It's the human race. And so I think that this show, I'm so excited about this and so excited for Dakota with this, leading role of this gay man in society with his three best friends. And gosh, you three are absolutely amazing to portray those characters for sure. I can't wait. Like literally, I cannot wait to see each of you play these roles. Like they're so iconic in my head. So I'm so excited to see how you guys interact with each other and how, Terry has taken the show and made it her own on our ALT stage. So I'm telling everyone right now, come see Significant Other. You're not going to be disappointed. You're going to definitely want to come see it and bring your besties, bring your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, bring whoever you want, because it's a show about relationships. And we all know that they're important in our lives. And I think it's going to be a beautiful show for our season. So one, thank you three for not only being on Thursdays at 3 today, but for giving and sharing your talent to this show. I think it's an important show for us right now, and I think it's a great story to tell. And I know you guys are all busy working away on lines and full run rehearsals and all those fun things, costumes and all that stuff. All the pieces are coming together, which is always a lot of fun. So real quick, because I always try to ask this, especially when it has fun new people, real quick, remind us all, what is one of your favorite things about ALT? Because you three have been, on gosh, Caitlin grew up in the academy. Jay was, started off in Legally Blonde. Nikki was in Hairspray years ago. Left, came back, was on our production team for Shrek. So you guys have all kind of been in different aspects of ALT and kind of came at it in a different way. So I'm interested to find out from you guys what your favorite thing is about ALT. Starting with you, Jay.
I would say it's a feeling, man. It's a feeling that the people give you. Like when I know when I walk into those doors, I'm safe. Emotionally, physically, like I don't even have to say anything. And they know if I'm having a bad day. They know if I need a minute, like even when I'm scared in an audition, I'm just like, whatever happens here, I'm safe.
Yeah. It's one of the few places where you walk in that you're probably going to get a hug, no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, nah, we're going to hug you. Sorry. I know. Yeah. Nikki, what about you?
I think it's all the people in the community. Moving back to Amarillo after being out, all over for so many years, just was immediately able to step in and be surrounded by friends and people who care about me and the things I want to do, not just like theater or my craft. Like they genuinely care about me, and being able to step into that community has been absolutely amazing, and everyone is wonderful and I love them all.
Yeah, I love it. Caitlin, what about you?
One of my favorite things is the fact that it is a place that I've been able to leave and come back multiple times. And every time that I come back, I feel like I just have been able to pick back up exactly where I left off. I mean, I have friends that are older that I did my very first main stage production when I was still a freshman in high school, and they're still my friends. And just having that continued relationship with people who are all working towards the same goal of making good art. And we have such an amazing mix at ALT of people who have no actual background and who just want to come in and have fun, and they do an amazing job. And then you have people who we've gone to school for it, and we've worked professionally, and being able to have that mix and just have all of those people come together for that common goal is just something really special.
Yeah, no, agreed. It's something, it's like lightning in a bottle. We've caught it, and we're going to hold on to it for as long as we can, for sure. Well, like I said, I appreciate the three of you not only being on Thursdays at 3 today, but of course being in the show. Cannot wait to see you guys. Again, everyone, if you don't already have plans, make plans to see Significant Other August 18th through the 28th. That's 8 shows. Of course, we have productions on Thursdays at 7:30, Fridays and Saturdays 8 o'clock, Sundays at 2 8:30. You're going to want to get your tickets. Call our box office 806-355-9991. Visit our website, amarillo.littletheater.org. And we'll share more information next week. There's going to be a talk back after that first Sunday's show, which is going to be great. Carla Fristo says she's coming opening night. She cannot wait. I love it. So yeah, so we want to make sure everyone comes sees this show. Again, you guys, hopefully the three of you all have a great rehearsal tonight, and we will see you guys all soon. Thank you guys for being on our show today.
Thanks, Jason.
I appreciate y'all. Yeah. Tune in next week, everyone. Thursdays at 3 for Dakota Warren and Terry Wilson. They'll talk more about Significant Other. We'll also remind you, of course, about the ALT Open House next Thursday and give you more insight on those Academy registration dates. So we'll see you guys next week. Thank y'all very much.